Hello.
Hey Alan, it's the J-Dog. How's it going?
Good, thanks, yeah.
So what do you think of the script? Have you spoken to your bosses yet? I've been calling you for days.
Listen, James, you know how much I enjoy your work, but I don't think the script is right for our network.
What are you talking about? We even showed it to your bosses.
Well, no. If I show them something they don't like, it reflects poorly on me. It's taken me a long time to get this job. I don't want to mess it up.
Well, what's wrong with the script? Don't you think it's funny?
It's not that I don't think it's funny. It's just that some of the material isn't really appropriate for our network.
Oh, for fuck!
Look, I've made some notes. If you just make a few changes, cut a few things out, and clean up some of the language...
No way! That script is like my left bollock. I'm very attached to it.
Well, I'm sorry, James. If you're not willing to make any changes, I can't help you.
What kind of changes?
Well, for a start, all that stuff about Adam and Eve has got to go.
What? That's about 30 pages. What's wrong with it?
Well, it's extremely offensive. I don't think our audience would appreciate it.
How is it offensive?
Right, you say here, after Adam and Eve had kids, surely that would be the end of the line. Unless Adam and Eve's kids got together and had kids of their own, and so on, in which case the entire human race is inbred, just like caravan folk. I mean, it doesn't get much more offensive than that.
Oh, come on. That's not that bad. Who's going to be offended? People in caravans probably don't even have televisions.
Well, that's just one point. There would be a huge uproar from the Christian audience if we were to air that on our network.
Who in this day and age actually phones up and complains?
You'd be surprised. Remember that MC Mouse fiasco last year? What he said during a live interview?
About what disabled people did in previous lives.
Yeah.
I thought that only got something like 3 complaints.
It did. Then the newspapers got involved, and the next day we received over 3,000 complaints. A lot of important people lost their jobs.
Ah, that's a joke.
I know. It's a high-pressure business.
Right. So if I cut the Adam and Eve stuff, what else?
Well, some of the scenes are just visually disgusting. You got the scene where the guy finds his roommate masturbating, guy being sick in a shoe, guy using a towel for toilet paper, and the whole thing with the oven mitt is just sick.
Oh, for God's sake, some of that's based on true stories. It's comedy gold. If you cut that, you might as well cut the whole thing.
My thoughts exactly.
What?
Look, even if you made all these changes, you would still need a complete rewrite. The language is an absolute disgrace.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Alan, it's a millennium. People do swear nowadays, you know.
Yes, they do, but not constantly. This script has the C word 505 times, and the F word in almost every other sentence.
Oh, that's a lie. So...
Look, normally, when something has too much bad language, we'd just put a censorship bleep over it. But I think if we did that with this, the noise would just give people a headache.
Right. So if you get your way and make all the changes you want to make, what other problems would there be?
Well, after the cuts, the whole thing would be about 3 minutes long. I'm sorry, mate, I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, come on, this is bullshit, Alan!
I'm afraid that in this day and age, you just have to learn how to censor your work.
Well, is that right? Well, you're not going to censor me, so you can shove it up your arse, you cunt!